joined on set by Jamal Galves. Of course, Jamal is a program coordinator and a research biologist with Sea to Shore Alliance and working with the Belize Manatee Conservation Project. Whew, a lot of titles there, Jamal, but we know you as the Manatee man, right?
That's good enough.
And that's what you like to be known as.
That is good enough, yeah.
So good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thanks for having me here again today. I really appreciate the opportunity to spread awareness and to talk about the events that we're having now.
Yes, and to talk about the importance of our manatees. So we were having a discussion during the break. We should probably let people know what details you were sharing with us. And I think the first one definitely has to be the reports of deaths of manatees in the country.
Right.
What is this year shaping up to look like so far?
Not as good as I would have hoped or would have expected. We have more than we would have wanted to have it show this time. I mean, the high season for tourism hasn't even started as yet, and we're already at 34. The difference is that these deaths didn't come as frequent as we normally see them. They're more spread out throughout the year, and they're in different spots. Most of our focus has been in the Belize River because it has been a hot spot for Manatee deaths in a long time. But we're now seeing issues in other parts of the country, including Belize River, which we still need to address. But it doesn't look good, and it shows that there's still a lot of work left to be done now.
The manatees are an endangered species?
Well, they are, in my mentality, they are. Last year, the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission had proposed to have downlisted the Manatees throughout its range because they have seen an increase in their population, which we totally disregarded because the Florida population is a total different population and a total different species than what we have in Belize. But the way it works is that the Antillean Manatee has two different subspecies. The Florida Manatee and the West Indian Manatee has two different subspecies, the Florida Manatee and the Antillean Manatee, which we have in Belize, the Antillean. But because boaters in Florida are tired of going slow and all these signs, they had petitioned and taken the state to court for them to reassess the population. And based on the current numbers, the population had increased, and which had forced them to downlist the population. But they, instead of downlisting the Florida Manatee, they did the West Indian Manatee, which includes the
Antillean.
And it has very bad repercussion for Belize. Our population is nowhere close to stable.
What is our population size?
It's estimated to be about 1,000, but when you have 34 to 40 Manatee die
1,000?
1,000.
Sorry.
Is it still the largest population of Antillean manatees?
It is, so therefore it's very crucial not only to Belize but to the species on a global scale. If we can bring this population back to a stable, sorry, if we can bring this population back to a stable number, it is at serious risk that this population is possible to go extinct. So what our efforts require is very crucial to the population by itself.
Can I, in terms of, if I'm looking out there and saying why, because there's a cost. I'm sure the program that you're involved in has significant costs to help to protect these animals. Why protect them?
Because they're very important. Belize being a coastal community, we thrive on the sea for everything, for our food, for our recreation, for our way of life. We love the sea. We get all we want from the sea. And manatees play a very important role in the ecosystem. They're one of the only herbivorous mammals in our waterways, so they're one of the only ones eating the seagrass at the magnitude that they do eat it. So they keep the seagrass in check, so basically they're the lawnmowers of the sea. Because they eat so much, they eat 9% of the body weight daily. So these guys spend majority of their day eating. What goes in must come out. And their excretion acts as sustenance for small fishes, crustaceans.
Yeah.
And big fish eat small fish, and we eat big fish. Then you wonder why fishes taste so nice. No?
So it's a fortified formula for baby fish.
Exactly,
That we
exactly.
get from the manatees.
And just to spell it out, what happens, what do we lose if we lose the manatee, specific to the ecosystem?
I always believe that the economy depends on an ecosystem. If an ecosystem collapses, an economy would not survive. That's the bigger picture. If we lose the manatees in Belize, we will lose the recognition that we are recognized as worldwide, as the country with the largest population of Antillean manatees in the world. I've been saying that since I was a kid, and I want to continue to say that. But our fisheries stop. Tourism is big for Belize. We all know tourism is the number one income for Belize, and a lot of tourists come to Belize to see manatees because you can actually see them in the wild, as opposed to seeing them at a zoo or in a pool swimming around. A lot of families depend on tourism. I always tell the tour guys, tourism is not just for tourists or tour operators. A tour guide takes out 30 passengers on a boat. He needs to buy food from the lady at the restaurant. He needs gas from the gas station,
Absolutely.
water. So everybody makes a buck from it, either whether directly or indirectly. So it's very, very important to us for the ecosystem, for the role it plays within the ecosystem, and also it has a large economic value.
Now it's very, I would imagine, measuring the growth in the population is difficult. And I know there was a tagging exercise that had been initiated at one point in time.
Correct.
Do we know whether or not we are seeing adequate reproduction from manatees at this time?
We haven't done a recent aerial survey. The group that we used to do the aerial survey has pulled out of Belize. Aerial surveys are really, really expensive because, it requires chartering a plane to fly over a specific route for a couple of days to come and this through the country of Belize. It's a very long, drawn-out, tedious, and expensive venture, and the company that used to offer that services to us no longer in Belize. So we are trying to do it with the use of drones and stuff like that, which doesn't make it as accurate. You can't cover as much as you would like to cover. But you do see more manatees, but also you're seeing more manatees dead, and the more manatees dead, it means that there's less manatees out there. Some would argue that there's more manatees to be killed. But my point is that what I'm seeing is the increase in tourism. As tourism increases, manatee death rate goes up along with it. Sadly, because manatees benefit none from tourism. Not at all, and they're the ones that are affected the most by it.
And is it the deaths, are they primarily the female manatees? Because we know obviously they're essential to the reproduction for more than just delivering the calf.
Correct. The statistics that we've collected, because whenever there's a dead manatee, we have to do an assessment on the animal to try and figure out what may have caused the animal to die. That helps us to put our efforts in a particular direction. Like, for instance, this boat, we're trying to address boat as if it's garbage, we're trying to address polluters. And what we're seeing is that majority of the animals that die are adult females, and we're seeing young calves. So we're killing off the reproductive kind, and then we're killing off the next generation, which isn't good for any population. It basically is kind of an uphill battle any way you look at it. No?
And the reproductive cycle is 4 years, I remember?
When you look at it, it could go up to about 11 years, because it takes a male manatee about 9 to 10 years to become sexually mature, though we've seen animals produce viable sperm as early as 6 years. But the female becomes mature about 3 years of age. She doesn't have her first pregnancy until she's like 5 years old. She's pregnant for 1 year and doesn't have another calf for the next 3 to 4 years, because the calf stays with its mom for 2 years. Wow. So it takes a very long time. They can have 2, but it's very rare. So when you look at the first in the population is 1,000, and we had 30 died last year. We had 34, and the year before that we had, I don't know off the top of my head, but the number is just it's looking good and going in the correct direction.
In terms of other species who are either at risk or going in that direction, how large is your organization in terms of your specific one?
It's just, we're an international organization. We've been in Belize for numerous years. The group that I have been working with have been studying manatees since 1997 in Belize. But it's just me in Belize, so I depend a lot on volunteers and partners. I have very good partners, whether it's corporate or NGOs as well, that assist me with my effort. So I am grateful for the support. Exactly, like Oceano, who has a big group of supporters and a lot of volunteers. So whenever there's an issue, getting hands on deck isn't the problem. Most people are willing to go out there and get in the water and assist in any kind of way.
But in terms of, I've seen with other species, that what happens is that there's a move to sort of enhance the population, breathing them in environments where they're captured and protected, and then release them back into the wild. Are there any programs like that? I see we do it for I think crocs or alligators. Is there such a program?
There is not such a program. I wouldn't. Even if there It's not necessarily feasible because Manatees eat a lot, my brother.
How much is it? It's like a crazy amount.
Yeah, like you eat like 9% today, by the way. Imagine a Manatee that's 900 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, an adult Manatee would eat about 3 to 4 boxes of lettuce a day, like an entire box of lettuce a day. Before we used to feed them, when they used to be in the rehabilitation center, we'd feed them lettuce. But it's too expensive. I mean, you have, like for instance, you have a Manatee that comes in with a boat strike that's going to be there for 3 years. Eating 3 to 4 boxes of lettuce for 3 years. I mean, it's too expensive, and even the young calves, which we have more of young calves in the rehabilitation center, they are young babies that need a bottle every 2 hours, and the bottle is not some claim from the store. You got to import that specific milk to feed them. It's somewhere around $6 to $12 US per bottle. And a calf stays in the rehabilitation center for about 4 years. And she takes about every 2 hours, so that somebody has to feed that 2 o'clock in the morning, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, round the clock.
So they're
it's
far better off in the natural
environment. Way better. I mean,
far better off.
We can't feed them, and I don't even know if and I even know if Petra Caribbean could have feed Manatees. I mean, it's so much. It's too expensive. Like it's not feasible. And outside of that, putting them in rehabilitation and put them within human conduct changes their mentality completely. So when you have the animals that you have in rehabilitation center, it's very difficult to get into. It's kind of like you bring them in and you want for them to get comfortable with you because you need to feed them, and then you're telling them, oh, step back,
try
go away.
Try to figure out your own
Basically, you're confusing them and then putting them back in the world and never the same again.
Now, Jamal, we know your message is primarily to boaters. That's where you spend a lot of your time and efforts trying to educate people about their habits. So we know that you've worked with the BTB before, Belize Tourism Board, and with BTIA to train tour guides. How is that program going, and why do you think we're still seeing so many deaths?
I think there's some positive to it, in the sense that every year we try to keep on this tour guide workshop. Every year we started off in 2012 based on an award that I got from Conservation Leadership Program that funded specifically to address the issues in Belize River. We actually put a plan in place to bring all the stakeholders that are part of this problem. For instance, the Port Authority, which is responsible for maritime, the Forest Department, which has the mandate for Manatees, the Coastal Zone, the BTB, and the Rehabilitation Center. And we partnered with these guys, and we did monitoring for a year to see who are actually the people that are using the river. Once you get a hold of an understanding of who's using the area, we tried targeting them specifically. So we invited all these guys to our workshop, which we trained them about the issues that Manatees are facing, the problem that they are causing, and half of them didn't realize that the impact that they are having until they saw it. And the year after, the death rate had gone down drastically, more than 50%. We didn't do it the year after because we didn't have the funds to do it the year after. But I wouldn't want to think that I just did it a year ago and thinking I have to do it the next year. And the year after that year, the death rate gone up right back again. Wow. So it shows that it's something that has to be consistently done. Not because it's the same people doing the offenses the same all the time.
New guides that are coming in.
Tourism is increasing, so you're always seeing new faces. And out of 100 persons that may come to the workshop, I think we may actually impact some 60% of them. I see changes in behavior, but there are still people that choose not to. I mean, you can have 70% of change on this. The other 3% or so are the ones that are causing the impact and makes it look like the effort is not working necessarily. And
Manatees have actually become a part of the tourism product as well, because we see tour guides stopping in the Belize River to showcase Manatees as well. But it is the speeding primarily that affects.
My thing is that when I speak to tour guides, I often tell them, I mean, this is a free event. There's no a Manatee fee, there's no a Manatee tax, there's not a, it's kind of like you have a tree that grows $100 and you're allowed to take $100 from that tree every day. Would you ever cut that tree down? And all of them are like, no, I would never cut that tree down. And then I say, okay, that Manatee is there for free. You don't have to feed it, you don't have to pay any fee to it. You take 30 tourists out there, you go and see them and thing. For free, you take 100% profit. There's no cost to you for that. Why would you kill something that's a lifetime worth to make money for a long time? I mean, this can be around for generations to continue to make money from.
So this is why you are hoping that people will come out to support your fundraiser, so you can keep on spreading this message.
Correct. The fundraiser is very important. These funds go directly to these efforts, whether it's awareness in schools or events, putting up signs. In the signs that I've seen, it's really important because last year we didn't have as much debt until we had the hurricane that came to take away all the signs. And you'd be surprised that these guys travel this waterway every day, and they can see the sign, they know where the signs are, but because the sign isn't there today, they're not abiding by the regulations today. Something as simple as a sign has serious impact.
In terms of people who don't take this positive message, what is the success rate in terms of prosecution with your other agencies, Port Authority?
The success rate is sometimes it gives me a headache to think about the success rate. I'm not the person to want to think about arresting people. I always believe that if I can convince somebody to change their behavior, they'll change it for good. But if I give somebody a fine for speeding, the next time I'm not there, they're going to be speeding. But once you convince them why it's important for them to do it, and you see changes, but there are people that still choose not to. And those are the people that I hope that the law will deal with. Mm-hmm. But in terms, I've never seen anybody getting a ticket or been fined for speeding in a no-wake zone since I've been out there.
And there's no monitoring.
Yeah.
Not that there's lack evidence, because there are concerned individuals that sit out there on their normal day. Or have people sending me videos on a daily basis of both speeding, and I had to share it with the authorities, and nothing comes of it. No.
Okay, well, let's get into the details of your fundraiser before we run out of time, right? It's the Cocktails for the Manatee.
Love the name.
This is an annual event, fundraising event. Tell us the details of it.
This is the third year in a row. Cocktails for the Manatees were brought by the Boeing & Boeing group of company. I have been working with them in terms of awareness effort, and they see the needed for more funds towards the effort, and Shelley specifically came up with the idea of, you know what, let's do a fundraiser. Mm-hmm. Let's do a fundraiser for the Manatees. And we got a bunch of people together, including Travelers, Liquor, McNabb, Design, and a bunch of other supporters that come out every year consistently. Mm-hmm. And we decided we're going to do this party whereby people can actually come, have fun, enjoy themselves, and contributing to a real good cause. And at the fundraiser, I mean, there's always entertainment and
so you're having pan-tempters?
Correct, you're having pan-tempers this year. Mm-hmm. And a lot you get the opportunities to win a lot of prizes. I get a lot of support from a lot of resorts, a lot of like for instance Tropicare. So we have a lot of prizes in terms of stays in different places, just to mention a two, like for instance Straw Creek, Naya Resort, the Elysian.
So the silent auction is built into the night itself, right?
Correct. And that's really the real fun part, to watch people like bidding on these things, and you walk by and then somebody comes and bid behind you, and you go like, who's that guy? And you bid right behind them, and those are the proceeds that are made from that is really good for the effort, and it goes, like I mentioned, directly to replacing signs and having tour guide workshops and stuff like that. But we have a long list of supporters, and I even know if you have the time to list them out.
It sounds like a fun event. What all happens at this event?
At the event,
we have a silent auction. Are there?
We have silent auction. People, you can dance if you choose to dance. You can't go to anywhere at Steel Bunnies and not shake your feet or nod your head. And Fun Tempers is one of the best we have in Belize, of course. So, so there is entertainment. We're gonna have games there as well.
I saw the game night. Tell me about the game part.
There's gonna be like games like, for instance, throwing the loop on the ball, like on the Belican ball and stuff like that. There are a bunch of other little games that are going to be situated in other areas that you can, if you choose to participate. It's not a must. It's not but it's just another activity for folks that may not want to dance, so they could have something to do. And there's always good food as well, and good drinks. The drinks are always cold and ready. So.
Well, I'm sure you can get your favorite Belican product there as well.
Definitely.
Now, your silent auctions are a major part of your fundraising. Correct. So I'm looking at some of the photos here of your prizes. These are definitely auctions you want to get in on. So you have Chaw Creek, which is a night stay for 2. You have a hideaway camp adventure tour for 4.
Wow.
Ragamuffin tour, which is a great tour.
Yeah.
And that takes you from Keycocker to Dangriga, right?
Correct.
And these are all items you can bid on. You have the San Ignacio Hotel, Tropicaire, Table Rock, Hamanasi, and even a private tour at the Belize Zoo.
Correct. They have like tours to the Belikin Brewery where you can take a bunch of your friends, and after you can sample anybody can product. There's a long list, and for instance, one of the newcomers, one of the ones that I'm really excited about is from Twig and Pearl, Rebecca Stern. She created a customized Manatee handbag.
Wow.
And we're hoping to start this new line with a partnership that we're doing with her. So whoever wins that is gonna have the very first one of that kind. And like there's many other items that are going to be there. Check our Facebook page. We're posting them daily so people can see what are going to be there, so that they can get excited about it and make sure they bring their checkbooks to take some more of these stuff.
What is your Facebook page?
Jamal Galves, or you could just search the real Manatee and you'll find it somewhere on there.
The real one, right? The real one. So the event takes place on
Saturday, November 4th at the Old Belize, the pavilion. We decided to do it inside this time because every year we have issues with the weather. So
you're playing it safe this time.
Correct. We're going to take it safe, and so it's going to be at Old Belize and the George Price Highway, the pavilion. Tickets are $30 to enter. The tickets get you an entrance fee, free finger food, also a door raffle to enter a raffle for the door prize as well, which are always good prizes. And we have a lot of raffles throughout the night, whether it's dinner at the tavern or a bar or Radisson or.
Okay.
So there's you can't go there and not leave with something. Then there's an opportunity for everybody to take home something.
Where can I get tickets?
Tickets can be found at the store on Barak Road. Or you can call my number, which is 615-3838, and I'll bring it to you myself.
Wow.
This man is serious about protecting the manatees, I'm telling you.
No, I like it because I want to see the people that support me, and I could have people go, but I like coming in contact with people that are my supporters to show that I'm appreciative of your support.
And there are many people who do want to support, so I'm glad that you mentioned that. So go on Facebook, send them a message, you'll get through to Jamal. He will find you to deliver the tickets. Or collect your donation, or perhaps they can decide if they want to bid, how much they want to bid on the prizes as well, because that's quite a deal you will be getting, no matter what you bid at that silent auction. So all of this, I think, is all in an effort to be able to protect what we do have in this country, what we're blessed with, and so we hope that people will come on out and show their support. Anything else you'd like to share with us today?
I mean, the people that have came in the past know what it's about, and those people come every year for the past since it started. So obviously something is there that they're enjoying, and I'm welcoming everybody out to come out and enjoy yourself. Bring your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend, and come and have some fun while you're supporting the worthy cause.
Okay, well, thank you for being here, Jamal. We appreciate it. Once again, the Cocktails for the Manatee takes place on Saturday at Old Belize. It's indoors, so you don't have to worry about rain.
Correct.
And the tickets are $30. You can contact them through their Facebook page, and there are a couple of outlets you can reach as well. And most importantly, it's to help to continue the efforts in education in protecting our manatee population. Thank you so much for being here.
You couldn't have said it better.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap.